prosecuted in a court of equity.
All right.
And a sequestration receivership is a receivership established in a sequestration proceeding against a corporation. And that's what you've got to do, is take your corporation into a receivership.
That sounds right.
Yeah, receivership. All equitable remedy for dissolution or reorganization of a corporation in financial distress, insolvent or whatever, okay? Now, the whole problem out here is that basically everybody, I don't know whether everybody has, I know one guy that I talked to earlier today had never heard of this term, better red or better dead than red. Well, that was basically the old saying back in the 50s when the red communists were trying to come in. But nobody understood that there was already a communist organization in place. So in saying better dead than red, you were saying that you were better to be a dead in the dead communist organization than in the red communist organization. These communist organizations were started back in the 1870s by the bankers. But communism basically has been out there, one of the means all the way back into the Babylonian time frame of controlling the people. And we're under the black or the bankrupt or the debtor Communist Party. And we've got a implied contract, implied membership contract with them. Everything that these guys do in the de facto government is by implied. They have no real facts on their side. They never operate above board. I'll be sending Tom a 18-page document with 300 words on it. Well, basically, there was a movie out about a couple years ago about the 300 that stood against, I think it was the Greeks that stood against the
Caesar.
Well, whoever was coming in to try and conquer them.
The Persians, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's 300 words here. The last one is de facto government. Most all of these words I took out of Ballantyne's dictionary. I heard, I was listening to a movie the other night, okay, trying to just relax a little, and basically at the end of the movie there, the song came up, "Don't Take Your Guns to Town." Well, there's a lot of truth in that, okay? You don't go out there looking for to be harmed. You put a gun in your hand and basically they can shoot because you have now just given them an implied claim that you are going to use that gun, whether you use it or not. It's an implied fact in their book that you're going to use it.
You're talking
You've
about
got to go through all of the words that start with imply, because you really don't understand what they're really saying, okay? You have the power to forgive, but in the dictionary, you're not going to find a good definition of forgiveness. You'll find it talking about marriages, but is what you have to go to is pardon. When you look up the definition of pardon, the first word is forgiveness, release, or remission. And then when you proceed in there, you go on down there, it says pardoning power. The power to grant pardons, an executive power as it usually exists, but a power within the control of the people, and to be conferred by them upon such officer or officers as they see fit.
Wow.
We have that power because that power is addressed in Article 10 of the Bill of Rights, Amendment 10, that we retain that power, the power to forgive, the pardoning power. Out of these 300 words, you will find in looking at them and studying them that this government that we have has violated more than one half of these words that are really words in law. And that's what people need to really get a handle on, okay? You go and play with the 1099s and all those forms. Well, what color are they? The top part is red. The next pages are all black. Red and black. Red and black Communist Party forms. That's what they are. They made you a corporate citizen. Okay? By the implication, see, none of these contracts are out here in writing. You've never gotten the standing of the charters of these corporations. And they're a belligerent, pituitary membership de facto corporations. And see, they're a membership. A Communist Party membership is what they really are. And when you start going through the words, then you can start filling in all the missing pieces here. Indian tribe, a separate and distinct community. Or, got that? Or body of the Aboriginal Indian race of men. See, there was an or there. So an Indian tribe in America is your family tribe. A separate and distinct community. The Amish, the Mennonites, the Quakers, the Friends, they're all separate, distinct communities. And you can be a family as a distinct community. Your tribe, you can be an individual tribe. It doesn't have that it has to have 25 members or anything like that in there. Confusion of rights and obligation, a merger of the obligator and obligee. Confusion. You are fusing the two together. Okay? And basically the concurrence of the character of the sole debtor and the sole creditor in the same person, thereby extinguishing the debt. There is no debt. If the debt is owed back to you, as you are the creditor, and your other person is the debtor to you, there is no debt. You just basically clap your hands, poof, it's gone. You merged the two together. They're operating under implied actions, okay? Stating that you are operating under an implied mortgage. But you have to turn around and against them, and basically that under the contract, the implied contract or membership that you have, is that they would settle that. See, if implied works for them, implied can work for you too. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, the old saying goes. Unlawful ab intro, whatever. Unlawful from the beginning. Trespass ab intro.
Ab initio.
Okay. Unlawful accumulation. An accumulation of an estate in violation of the rules against perpetuities, or unlawful accumulation. An accumulation of an estate in violation of the rule against perpetuities, or in violation of the statute comparable to the this is whatever the hell act in England, THELLUSSON. Perpetuity. Basically, they were only to hold those assets for 21 years. But under this Communist Party membership society, as an independent political society, they have basically come in and put that perpetuity into a lifetime and even beyond in their Communist Party system, because the communists do not want private holdings. Yeah, the rule against perpetuities, the rule which prohibits the creation of future interest or estates, but which by possibility may not become vested within a life or lives in being at the time of the testator's death or effective date of the instrument creating the future interest, and 21 years thereafter, together with the period of gestation when the inclusion of the latter is necessary to cover cases of posthumous birth. Well, if you know what you're reading there, basically you'll see that they're violating the law in what they've done. The churches did this, and that's why they came out with that act in England. because the churches were going after all the members in their society. The Roman Catholics, the Lutherans, whatever. They were putting claims of perpetuities, lifetime perpetuities against the people's assets. That's why they had the damn Dark Ages. They took the assets away from the people.
You mean the Sesquiquivir Act of 1666?
No, basically from about the time of Abel, okay?
Okay.
This stuff has been going on constantly throughout the lifetime out here. I'm not going to get into specific dates, okay? Restoration of record, okay? I don't know whether I covered that the last time I talked to anybody or not. Basically, you have a record on file at the court or at the courthouse. That file was done by a county registrar or a court registrar to basically authorize your entitlements under equity in the country. So that is a court record, a judicial record. Now, that was done by one registrar, and a registrar transfers the title of shares or whatever in the process. Look up registrar in the dictionary. Now, restoration of record is because a secondary, a communist registrar came in there and altered the records. Had the county recorder enter something in that basically they did not have the proper authority to alter. That's why when I went in 1967 or so and got a little card from and put a request into the county clerk of the court, she did not put my registration number on it. She only put the book and the page number on it. I was wondering why that wasn't on there, because that was not part of her recording. So, in the process, that record is going to have to be replaced, the replacement in its original condition of the judicial record, which was improperly altered. Alteration, basically violation of the law. Alteration of an instrument, forgery, illegal branding. Basically, they branded you to deceive you in the public. Intent to defraud. Violation right there. Infringement. Violation of your right. Infringement of name. You had the name first. Now they came in and tried to take control of that name. Unlawful detainer, unlawful entry, implication, implied acceptance. And see, we operate on facts out here. They, in the communist organization and in the color of law system, they operate on implied, a suggestion, implied, accepted as that which was intended, although not stated expressly, understood, suggestion. Well, wait a minute. I haven't accepted your suggestion yet. Even though I might do something that is similar to what you suggested, that doesn't mean I accepted your suggestion. Where is the hard fact that I accepted your suggestion? Implied powers. Basically, when we signed up with this membership, they assumed, as the corporation, they assumed our powers away from us per the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. So when you read implied powers, you'll be able to see that. Suggest, to bring an idea to the attention of another for consideration. Wait a minute, where in the hell does that say that I accepted that? Doesn't. Then the next one down is suggesto falsa, a suggestion that which is false or untrue, a misrepresentation. And basically, they're giving you a whole bunch of those constantly. Go through all these documents. Membership certificate. Okay, that's what you have. You've got a membership certificate. Certificate of membership, sometimes called a benefit certificate, issued to a member of a mutual benefit society, constituting the contract between him and the corporation, but construed and governed by its charter, constitution, and bylaws. Well, we've never seen the charter constitution. But you do see their bylaws out here all the time. The codes are their bylaws. Therefore, this communist corporation, membership corporation, a distinct kind of corporation authorized under the statutes of most jurisdictions, existing for purposes other than profit, often for charitable, fraternal, social, or religious purposes, in which the participants acquire the status of members rather than stockholders. In other words, you basically signed over your assets to them, to the corporation, and you got nothing in return. They promised benefits, but they haven't given shit.
Yep.
Onerous. O-N-E-R-O-U-S. Burdensome. Not without consideration. And then a onerous deed, a deed which was executed by the grantor for a valuable consideration. You didn't get anything in return. Per the Constitution, okay? The Preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, that means peace, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, that means everybody down the road, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. the one court that we have the power to establish justice, especially equity justice in this country, is the one Supreme Court that's addressed in Article 3. Article 1, Section 8. 2 items there. To borrow money on the credit of the United States. This is what the government has. To regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. Now, where in the hell did it say anything about the people? Well, it did, in Indian tribes. It covered everybody else. The Aborigine Indians and all other family tribes in this country. This is the missing 13th tribe out of the house of Israel or whatever. Is the Americas.
You just call them individual tribes?
Indian tribes. With the Indian tribes.
Yeah.
But you are a family tribe, so you are an Indian, an individual. IAN, okay? However you want to look at it, okay?
Yeah, before you said Indian was like in title or possession.
Yeah, basically I know. Okay, I've got that posted up there. I think I sent that to Tom. Yeah. That document. Sovereignty. The power to govern. Supreme political authority. The public authority which commands in civil society and orders and directs what each citizen is to perform to obtain the end of its installation. Sovereign people. See, people of the state. People of the United States. So when you go and look those up, you'll see a little better clarification. People of the United States, the sovereign people, citizens. Okay? Right in the dictionary. You are the sovereign. And you are the sovereignty in actuality. The power to govern. Supreme political authority. That public authority which commands in civil society and orders and directs what each citizen is to perform to obtain an end to the installation. Okay? Now, United States citizen. The antithesis of alien. First, a person born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. United States Constitution, Article or Amendment 14, Clause 1. Second, one who by birth, naturalization, or other means is a member of the independent political society. Wait a minute. What the hell's that got to do with it? A United States citizen? Well, then the United States must be an independent political society, which it is. It's a communist, it's a black communist organization, a debtor communist organization that has come in and overlaid everything out here. Better dead. Everybody wanted to be rather dead than basically red. So basically, they said, okay, we'll kill you all off. We'll give you all a fictitious dead person to run around with. You want to be dead? Here, be dead. Disaffirmment, unjust, discrimination, concealer. You're going to have fun going through all these words. Implied force, the employment of words or conduct to put another in fear of body harm if he does not give way or submit. They love to use this one against you on phone calls. You used the wrong word, like, well, I won't go into it. But you used the wrong word, and basically they're charging you with implied force to cause fear in them. Well, most of them are just chicken little pansies anyway, so basically just looking at them cross-eyed scares the living shit out of them. Okay. And one of the things here, no prudent person punishes in order that past transactions may be revoked, but he does so in order that future acts may be prevented. And that's what I've said all along. Okay, and that's one of the Nemo statements in there, that you do not go back into the past. What is in the past is over and done with. You can't resurrect some of the things. But you just make a statement that basically this can be brought forward if they cause future harm. But you're going to let it lie. You're going to pardon them. That basically, in your pardoning statement, you make it that basically everything is pardoned up to this point in time, if you comply with what is being ordered. If not, then basically all bets are off, and you can be prosecuted for all past actions also. Why did they get rid of Al Capone? Because this communist organization is a racketeering organization all of their own. They operate under extortion. They operate under blackmail, blacklisting. Okay? Every time you get something from the damn IRS, it's blackmail. And then if they send out a threatening notice to you, they're blacklisting you. And it's all basically for black rent. You can look that one up.
Did you say back rent or black rent?
Black rent.
Okay.
Look
black.
up all the definitions in Valentine's Dictionary under the word black.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying it's black communism.
Right.
The movie V. What colors were prominent in the movie?
Black.
Red and black. In a lot of these movies out here, The prominent colors have been red and black, just like the IRS 1099 forms. Top piece is red. All the other pages are black. And they give you some song and dance that, oh, well, it's because of these damn scanners. Hell, they got scanners that can basically read the black print just as well as they can the red. But why does it have to be red? These 300 words will scare the living shit out of you, okay? When you know and understand these words, and you understand how this country is really being operated, you may just want to go back and crawl back into your hole and just be a good little communist member. Because it just may scare the living shit out of you that you think that they're going to be coming after you and taking you down. Well, I refuse to be a slave, no matter what condition it is. And communism is a total slavery system. Whether it's the dead, the black communism, or the red communism. And I've known that there was two communist organizations, and they both started out of New York, but they really started out of London. Okay? Karl Marx and everything basically had been out there. Albert Pike was another instigator to bring it over into this country. The churches had been using communism all along in their control of the people, all the way through the Dark Ages, depriving them of their wealth. Excalibur basically was giving the wealth back to the people. That's when they had a state of or whatever, good times, okay? And then basically as soon as the churches stepped back in, basically, and started taking control of the kings and everything in England, it went back into the darkness again. The slavery system under the nobles and everything else controlling the people. They have violated, I've got roughly about 30 different violations of the law in this regards. And when you go through this, attempt to commit burglary, okay? Just the act of the attempt, wrong, okay? Well, I'm not going to go through too many more of them. But basically, when you go through these, and I'll try and get these sent over to Tom in the morning, okay? And you can see, and basically, most all of them are in the American jurisprudence volumes, either Volume 1 or Volume 2 of the American jurisprudence. Some of them are out there per court cases. Some of them by Supreme Court cases ruled upon. But we have to go to the de jure Supreme Court. And when we go to the de jure Supreme Court, that means that there will be no females on that office. right now there is basically 2 Supreme Courts sitting there. There may be only about 4 or 5 members on the de jure Supreme Court. We know for a fact that the women can't be on the de jure Supreme Court, so that you throw them out right away. But if you get down and start looking at all these things and start looking at all this implied stuff, now you can start standing up against these implied judges and everything, because they're operating as a corporation judge under an implied office, a de facto office. Because they're under, in most cases, they're under the protection of the Communist Party out here. Now, actions against the state. You can look that one up. An action which, because of the immunity of the state from suit under the 11th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States and established principles of jurisprudence, can be had only with the consent of the state. Well, I don't know whether people got that, but that was the 11th Amendment, and the 11th Amendment was put in place back at the turn of the 1800s, okay? When did this new state take effect? It was after 1871, this communist state. Are they protected against this action against the state? No. But they're trying to operate under that they are implied to be protected by that. You have to go in and break their presumption in that implying bullshit. They love to imply anything under the sun, and you don't have to accept any of it. But if you stand mute, you are basically giving them acceptance. That's why in 90% of the cases you go into court, every word out of your mouth should be, I object, I object. Because everything out of their mouth is total fraud. And you better be objecting to their fraud. And then you're also going to be going to the Supreme Court and basically, where the hell was that? You have the right to pray. How many pages here?
Did you say it live? You have the right to pray to be alive or be a living?
No, you're going to have the right to move everything up to the Supreme Court. From an inferior court, you can always take anything that you have in that inferior court. Okay. Here, let me hop on the computer. Avocation. Bill of Avocation, a petition praying the Supreme Court to transfer to itself a cause pending in a lower court. So you do a Bill of Avocation. And basically inherent power, the doctrine that the federal government has sovereign and inherent powers in addition to the powers given to it expressly and implied by the United States Constitution. Now get this, a doctrine refused recognition as law by the United States Supreme Court. The government may think that they have that sovereign and inherent powers, but they don't, according to the Supreme Court. Sovereignty, the power to govern, supreme political authority. That public authority which commands in civil society and orders and directs what each citizen is to perform to obtain the end of its installation or institution. You have the sovereign, the supreme political authority over your Indian tribe, your individual tribe. And then the state constitutions have to comply with the United States Constitution. Now, you're an Indian tribe, you're going to have to set up your own constitution. And you will adhere to the United States Constitution and absorb all of its requirements, especially the Bill of Rights, for your Constitution. You don't have to address them each individually in there, but you can make reference to that you're going to rely upon the federal government for certain protections that are called out in the Constitution, and that they have to supply those. Yeah, so there are several things that basically are going on here, okay? And we're supplying a sequesters petition and bill in peace. And then I'm praying upon the one de jure Supreme Court of the United States of America, who has the sole jurisdiction to uphold and enforce the judicial requirements of the Constitution for the United States of America and this equity action, based upon the establishment of justice to ensure domestic tranquility, peace, and to secure the blessings of our liberty, our freedoms for all Americans. We have, and basically I have, the first leaning title against my assets, that I can come in under and basically have the full right to order under the rule of perpetuities, to order this, and the corporation, you can, it's a membership corporation, and you always have the right to renounce a membership. But you keep the driver's license, you keep all these other things, and basically you're still a communist member because you're operating under their implied actions. Once you go down this road, you better be ready to just sit tight for at least 3 days, okay? If you can't do that, then don't do this. I know some people that just can't, basically if they couldn't go down to the damn corner store every day and pick up something to eat, basically they're starving to death. Well, buy about 4 days worth of food and hang on to it. The document that I have that I'm going to be sending in the Supreme Court, hopefully in the morning, will be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 7 pages. It's been a nightmare to try and write. And when do you always get your nightmares? In the dark, in the black. See, that's the curtain that we have to pull off, is this communist, black, bankers, debtor, bankrupt, membership, curtain. Yes, it's a very convoluted title. But when you start filling in all the pieces, it's all right there. And from all their actions, they totally, now, they are implied to be a true communist organization. No ifs, ands, or buts. By their actions, they have proved it. See, that's what I'm saying. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay? You can use implied just as well as they can. When you signed that contract for the mortgage, you signed as the creditor. You were implying that you were giving your credit to make the payment for that house. That's what was supposed to be taking place. But they turned around and got you to sign another one on the left-hand side saying that you are now the implied debtor to make the payment. You had a signed contract on one side. You didn't have to sign the other. You could have put a restriction on it, but you didn't. You didn't read the fine print. Not that you would have seen what you needed to in the fine print anyway. But that's how they hide things away. Insurance contracts the same way. They're a communist document. An insurance contract is. It's setting up a perpetuity in the long haul. So study those words. And when Tom gets these to you, basically, I know you'll have at least a couple of weeks to try and decipher these. Because it's taken me well over a week to try and get these down. And to go through and find them all and then cut and paste them into the process. To where I had the understanding of what I was saying using the different words. I know some of you people think that I'm getting a little rash, belligerent, crazy, wacko, I don't know, whatever you want to say about me. I don't give a shit. I know where in the hell I'm at. Do you know where you are, really? That's the real question you have to ask yourself. You don't worry about me. I'll take care of me. Okay? You need to start taking care of yourself. Okay? You can't rely upon somebody to carry everything and do everything for you. You have to get the understanding. I've tried to stress this point to you over the years. That the truth is very hard to accept. And the truth is what is in reality out here. And reality deals with hardcore words. Some you may not like, but that's tough. You better live with it, because that is what we're operating in the real world. You want to live in the fictional world? Then basically just go and play in your dreamland and shut off all the hardcore words. Don't face reality of what's taking place out here. So, okay, open it up to questions. I'll be on here for another 10 minutes or so.
Okay. So you got most of these out of Valentine then, because I didn't see the variations of sequester that you talked about as I looked at Anderson's.
Yes, most all the words that I got out of there, except for one, I had to get it out of Black's Fourth, and I forget which one that was right now. But everything else came out of Ballantyne's dictionary. Well, there might be a couple that I pulled out of Bouvier's, because I did open that one up a couple times.
Bad Bouvier, okay. Okay, well, looks like we're really going to have to get the 300.
But I've got all the definitions there, okay? So they came out of the law dictionary, okay? Whatever the law dictionary they came out of, it doesn't make a bit of difference, okay? You just need to understand what the words say.
I ask that because sometimes in the definitions we need to go and look up other words, and it's good to know the dictionary you got it from, so I can do that.
Well, just find another word, look up it in all the dictionaries, okay?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now, you don't have to restrict yourself to just one. I don't.
Just reading sequestration, I saw a number of words that I had to look up. You've defined mesne before, but I don't remember it, so I have to go look it up again. Anyone
How many people you got on there now, Tom?
Oh, there's 11 before. It's 11 now, yes.
Scared some of them off, huh?
No, there was 12 at one time. One dropped and then another one came in, so who knows? But it looks like there's no questions unless someone wants to speak up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. The one question.
Speak up a little more.
The one question I would have, Pat, is now I understand. This is scary, and all these words are really deep, and it takes a lot to get into them and figure this thing out and put it together for yourself to to accomplish hopefully a goal that will set you free. But the question I have is, do you think, knowing what you know, is it going to be possible for a man or woman to come forward and redeem what has been taken, or do we let that go? Like you mentioned, you have to give forgiveness. Do we have to let it all go?
You pardon them, okay, that you put in a bill of peace and a sequester to the United States Supreme Court, okay? Mm-hmm. In equity, okay? Mm-hmm. And basically, when you go through the definitions, and I'll be posting up a copy of this write-up that I have later on to Tom to post on there, the 7-page document that I'll be sending in the Supreme Court. Whether I get it up tomorrow or Tuesday, we'll see.
Okay.
But I've got in there basically something like 35 violations of law that basically I am going to pardon them under. Mm-hmm. But I need to have the Supreme Court come in, and basically I will, as a last item, I will let the Supreme Court determine whether they need to have any additional prosecuting actions against them. I'll forgive them, but basically I'll turn it over to the Supreme Court, and if they want to prosecute, they can.
Right. Makes sense.
But then under the laws of perpetuity, and the Supreme Court has the power of equity, and we're ordering the termination of our membership corporations. Then the assets have to be liquidated out of those corporations and returned back to the original grantor.
Yes.
Which is us.
Perfect.
But that's how you get out of a system.
Thank you.
But in any court case you have right now, if you understand, but you're going to have to practice. Courts are one of the scariest places to walk into. Most people will panic in there. Like in the movie Penny, okay?
Mm.
Basically, one way to learn how the law works is to go and sit there. Even though you don't have a court case, go in and sit and listen to what's going on in the court.
Yeah.
Get over your fear of going to court.
Like you said, we always think somebody's going to come after us or something if we, try to stand up and, expect our freedoms that we deserve, after all the...
You got to speak up a little louder. I can't hardly hear you.
I was saying that, a lot of us out here, we fear death and persecution if we stand up against, the things that the communist state has done against us. Yep.
Yeah, but what the hell? Would you rather be a slave or rather be waiting for the next go-around?
Right.
Basically, if they're going to continue forcing us to be slaves, hey, take me out. I'm not going to work for you anymore. Okay?
Right, just
I refuse.
Yep. I'd rather do right.
Now, put me in the ground and I'll come back again. The next time I'll come back really fighting.
Yep.
See, Jesus believed in reincarnation, okay? I don't know why people that claim to be followers of Jesus don't believe in reincarnation, but everybody thinks that basically we just live and die, and that's the end of it. Wait a minute. That don't make no damn sense whatsoever. That's total ludicrousness. You haven't got the understanding to get back to home yet. That's why there was 12 grades of school, 12 hours on the clock, 12 inches in a foot, 12 this, 12 that, 12 houses of the zodiac. You have to live a life in each one of the houses. That's what Jesus said.
Yep, just like Tom posted the 12 presumptions of the court against you. It's all 12.
Well, I don't know where that came from, but basically I haven't seen that, so I don't know.
Oh.
I'll put on the stick, Patrick.
As I read that whole thing. It was pretty informative. And it
yeah, but be
into
careful
what you said.
about some of this informative stuff out here, okay? Some of these people have some good information. I've had good information out here, okay? Now, people are going with some of the information I've put out there before, okay? They're making it work. But I haven't stuck around long enough to try and force it into work because I'm a rebel in the whole regards. And they ain't going to give it to me because I'm a rebel. There's only one way for me as a rebel to get out of the system, and that is to get completely out.
To stand over the presumptions.
I need to break the whole thing down.
Yep.
I need to break their presumptions, their impliedness.
Yep.
Expose them. I need to have my little Toto go over there and pull the curtain back and expose the damn wizard for the fraud that he is. Sticks and bones can hurt my bones, but words can never harm me. That phrase is very monumental because when you understand the words, now you have the power. And the words will work for you, not against you.
Exactly.
And that's what everybody's been lacking out here. They have never understood the words that they try to use and never have placed them in the right connotation that they needed to. Well, you don't need to do half the damn stuff that people are doing with the 1099s and all that other stuff. If you know what the words are, You've got the power. You've had the power all along to terminate, to pardon, to do the whole thing.
Words are our way out. They don't hurt us. They're what's hurting us.
No.
It's our lack of words, like Pat's saying, is hurting us.
The lack of understanding of the words, okay? People use words, but they don't know what they're using them and how they're using them. And then basically when you go into court, the court sees that you really don't know what the hell you're talking about because of the way you use the word inappropriately.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get out of court just by saying, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak legalese.
No, I do not accept. That is one of the big things in implied. They have to get you to accept, and that's why I say you object to everything that they say because everything out of their mouth is an implied contract. So you object, huh?
And they need you there in court, too. I walked out on the court to get a drink, you know. He goes, where are you going? We need you here, you know. I go, I'm going to get a drink. They had to hold everything up for me.
Yeah, and they will, okay? But see, you didn't know that you were a party member in the membership organization. Now, as a party member, you have rights in that party to basically come in and say, okay, the membership is supposed to, or the membership corporation is to take care of this.
The whole thing went just exactly like I thought.
Okay, well, any other questions about what the hell I'm talking about?
So maybe, Pat, do you think the best thing to, if you're going to get caught up in the arguments between the states and forms and writings and notices, to say that I do not recognize you?
I do not accept.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah.
No longer
I do not consent. I do not accept. Send it back to them. This is, and basically it's a form of extortion. It's blackmail. I do not accept your blackmail. It's like Al Capone or any mobster in one of these major cities that goes around and basically puts strong arm on the little shopkeeper and says, you owe me 10% for protection. That's what these guys are doing.
Indentured servitude.
Yep.
Yeah. And you signed over your assets to them in the corporation. The corporation is supposed to be taking care of everything for you.
That'd be nice.
Well, in a way, yes, and in a way, no. Because, see, they're the ones still in control of these corporations, the communists, and they will sit there and decide whether you're going to get your relief or not.
Mm-hmm.
They still have total control over you.
Right.
I mean, it's just like a membership in a religious organization. Okay? If you don't comply with what the minister or whoever out there is asking you to do, you're going to be banished, blacklisted, blackballed.
Debtor.
And you're going to have to pay penance to get back in. Ain't that the way it works?
Hell, they'll let you in for free, won't they?
No, not if you basically signed everything over and basically now you start trying to revolt against them.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They
Once
still
you're
got
out,
control of your assets. Now you want to get back in to try and get access to your assets.
oh, that's right. They won't help you anymore.
Yeah.
They won't. They won't throw you into prison when you want a warm bed and a warm meal.
What's their
that's
best
what
interest?
you've got to start understanding is that you have the right to revoke. You have the power to terminate and liquidate because they are the ones that are breaking the law. But you have to go to the right court, to the Supreme Court, with the right paperwork when you do go. And use the right words. And see, that's what people haven't understood. They've been claiming trust. Trust this, trust that. There is no stinking trust. Okay, it's corporations. The implied powers of corporations. They've taken our powers away from us. And now they're trying to use the powers that we had for the 10th Amendment against us. And that's a violation of the law. That they have infringed upon our right and then are turning around and using our right or powers against us.
What a scheme.
So when you get these word definitions, go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and basically you might learn something, okay?
Speaking about words, I think there's a lot to weight. I think there's a lot of logic to what Win Miller's quantum language is. I think if you write a contract...
I don't want to hear bullshit about that, okay? He's so damn screwed up that it's ridiculous.
Like to see
he's a party member. He's a member. And basically he's a deceiver from the word go.
Yeah, they always give you something to make you think that they're on your side.
I don't want to hear anything more about it. Just drop it. Okay? Anybody else have a question?
Not a question, but I just wanted to thank you, Pat, for all the hard work you've done and all the, sacrifice you've put into this. And because I listen to a lot of your teachings, and it makes a lot of sense. And I just wanted to, tell you thank you from my heart.
You're welcome.
Yes, I go along with that very strongly. You said that you're working really hard this week.
This week?
Well, this week, I mean,
right.
I can smell the smoke from here.
The culmination.
Patrick, do you know who Christopher Strunk is?
No.
He tries to sue all the government people, and he's also publicizing that he can make you a non-surety if you pay him $1,500. You ought to listen to his YouTube.
No, I ain't listening to anybody, okay?
He was on.
I know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what the hell they're doing, and I don't want to know what the hell they're doing. They can do their own thing, and basically, if you want to follow them, you follow them, okay?
Well, he didn't say anything that you didn't say.
Well, I'll bet you he hasn't said half of what I've said.
There's a lot more than he said.
Hey, Patrick, this is Steve. I was going to ask a question. You mentioned everything will be pardoned up till present if you comply with, what is it that they comply with, your wishes to eject or to get out, or otherwise you'll bring...
and basically do not cause any further harm.
Yeah. Comply with the termination and not cause any further harm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's just like a goodwill, or like you say, like not going into the past type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got to live in the future. You can't live in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
Forgive your brother.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Bye.
Keep your